Here's a quick tutorial how you do this. This is using your HP layouts from this post. I took this layout here. It's pretty close. It gets me here. This is, workable. First, go in here, let's see, this one has 2 decimals, make 1 decimal, change the low to 10. 20's fine. Got a lot of red there. The breakpoints are good. This is good. Get rid of these gauges. You just want to look at this. Okay? You should have air fuel curve down here as well. Charts layout. This is close, but doesn't work. There. See, now you have AFR, this curve here, and notice it kind of matches the chart. So now you can start tuning. Basically, you go through your log. Okay. At first, look, you have lean, very lean, when the engine is cold. Engine coolant. So that's not necessarily bad. But these spark spikes up and down like that, I don't like that. Your idle advanced table is far too aggressive. Go in here, go under spark, overspeed. That's actually not very aggressive. So why is it being so aggressive? -6 degrees, 700 RPM, desired idle. Desired idle. This must be much higher than your desired idle. So take these 2 tables and smooth them a little more. Go like this, okay? Like a 1.2 here, and for up here do like 5, and then grab from here to here and go interpolate like that, and then smooth it but kind of non-linearly. Decrease these a little bit, okay, and then make this like 7 and 10. Okay, do the same thing here. Go from here. This number should not be positive because this is an overspeed table. If you're adding timing when the RPM is too high, it's gonna make really crazy. It could be why it's doing this. So make this negative. Okay, small negative number like that, and then make this a small negative number, minus, make sure negative, and then interpolate these, and then smooth it a little bit here, like so, and these can be like these can be like, -7 or something. Okay, you don't want to try to control the idle too harshly by using timing. Do it using the airflow model, or the other idle control features. Okay, so this has to be done. Then we'll see how the spark timing stuff looks. Next, your in drive spark advance, I would drop these to like right about there. And you can rise these ones in the back just like one click and reduce these so that they're close to 15.5, kind of like that. In park, kind of do the same thing, just grab these, just for now, okay? For now. We can get more, like that's probably fine. Something else I would do on the short term. Look in your high octane table real quick. See, these should kind of match. Bring these down to about, just grab these and bring them down to around 16. Get rid of a decimal to make it easy. Okay, this will help smooth the idle out a little bit. It'll be less jumpy. You can do that in both of these tables. Drop this one. Better at 16. You make them wherever you put this one. Okay, this is 15.5. It just has to be close. It just has to be really close. This is close enough, okay? If you want to go 15.7 or something is fine. So that just off idle it adds a little bit of timing, you know? Good. If it cranks fine, let's see. I'm trying to do this quick. Let me just look and see. Zero this out. Just get rid of that. IAT. No. That's fine. The engine coolant temp. We'll deal with this later, but you're gonna wanna probably play with this a little bit. This is good. This is fine for now. It's okay. Good. Alright, so let's move on. This video is already gonna be really long. So, okay, this is pretty lean over here, these numbers. When this engine first starts, so go to fuel, find your open loop EQ ratio. Alright, so these control the warming up air fuel ratio commanded. And notice that for 50 kPa, which is where this thing is like probably trying to idle, either 45, see, 45 kPa, you don't really have any startup air fuel when the thing is cold. So all of this right here, you can grab these numbers, grab it like this, hell, grab the whole thing, and just bump this up a little bit for now. Later on we can deal with, exactly why this is happening. This is a little strange because look, from 158 to 176, the numbers were like the same originally. And your engine, it like runs really rich until suddenly magically right here, you're at 171, it's lean. Sorry, it runs really lean. See, 171 degrees, it runs 16 to 1. But then suddenly, magically, right around 1676, suddenly it's good. It's like running almost rich from here to here. So what the hell is up with that? That's very suspicious. Very suspicious. So for now, you can try to combat that with adjusting over here. Just add some weight so that you've got like a little bit more air fuel ratio commanded, a little bit richer. This will keep it a little bit richer while it warms up, which will just help the car feel like it wants to drive. And then make sure you're all ones from here, okay? From 176, all one. So that's going to give you the equivalence ratio commanded 14.7, which is fine. You could even go so far as to go from like 55 down and add a little weight there if you want, just a little tiny bit to help kind of kickstart the tuning process, get some fuel where you need it. Because when you step on the gas over here while the engine's warm, see, the engine's warm, when you hit the gas, I assume this is the throttle, you don't have the accelerator pedal position added, so the TPS is reading what the drive-by-wire is doing. So I can't tell the difference between the drive-by-wire and your actual physical accelerator pedal yet. You have to add that channel in your logs or we can't see it. So I assume you're hitting the gas here and you're starting to drive the car. When you hit the gas, you want to drive the car and the engine's speeding up and the map is increasing. You don't want to be lean like this, okay? This is too lean. It probably won't cause any problems. It's just not going to feel good. So what you're going to do is, right when you hit the gas and you see that you're going above 14.7, 14.8, anything above 14.6 for trying to drive the car forward, like it's fine if you're just cruising along, but if you're trying to actually speed the car up, you want to see something less than 14.6. So you're going to go into your VE table, assuming the MAF is properly disabled. Go airflow, primary VE, find these spots. Okay, right here. What is this? 900,000 RPM, 46 kPa, 9,900 RPM. Okay, it's between these two, right? And just add some weight there. Add some weight. Increase this number, you know? Look at how off it is. 15.2, you want to be like 14.4. So how much is that, you know? For now, to get an idea of it, you just do like that. Just add a little bit. And if you want to keep track of how far you went, go compare, open compare file, load your file against itself so that when you press control, hold control and press the number 4, now you're looking at the changes you've made, right? If you can hold control and press 3, you're looking at your old file. Control and press 2, this is your current file that you're changing stuff to. So it's all about holding the control and then pressing 2, 3, or 4. So you press control and hold control and press the number 4 on the keyboard. You get your compare against your own file when you did that compare feature, open compare file. So this is how you're going to do most of the VE changes, because it'll let you see. So like look a little bit further in the log, you're at 1447. 1400 is between 12 and 16. 47 is still here. So, you know, start increasing this one too. You know, for now, just kind of add between, you know, 0.5 and 1 to most of these areas until you get an idea. Like if it's really lean, see 16 to 1 at 1400 RPM, and maybe a little bit more than 1, but don't go crazy. Don't make 1.5 or higher changes, because it's very effective. So here you're on the throttle. Look at, if you want to zoom in on specific breakpoints, like here's 1600 RPM, 16.3 at 55 kPa. Where is that? 1600 at 55 kPa. 1600 at 55 kPa, 16.3, right? You can see it right here. You can kind of do rough tuning. Look at this and see, oh, 15.4. So here I was 15.4, but I'm actually reading 16.3, right? So the log is giving you an idea. It's an average. So you caught a bunch of points there. The highest one was 16.3, which is where you're at now while driving. The lowest one, 14.3. See, these look a little more sane, but the average, this is like an average, right? So your average is not really, you know, true to the nature of when you tried to drive it. When you tried to drive it, you had 16 to 3. So you're going to look at both of these. You're going to look at the table and say, oh, it was 14.4 average. You're going to look at the highest value was 16.3. Look at the current air fuel for that position because of this little blue line that we made with the AFR. And then make your VE change, mostly based on this, okay? That's the cell right there, 55 and 1600. It was 16 to 1, so let's give it, you know, nice fuel. All right, keep going. 18, let's see, we don't get to 2000 RPM, but we do make it to 1644. Look for a different map value. 50 at 1600. Here's 50 at 1600. What do we got? 15.6. So it needs weight. All right, and you start doing this for all the values. Here at 47 kPa, at 1600, 47. We already got it. See. And then once you kind of did that for driving areas, here's another one, 63 at 2200. 63 kPa at 2200. That's like in here. So if you see that you fall between both, you know, 22 is between 2000 and 2400, just add weight to the whole thing. All right, and you can kind of look at your whole thing, look at your average. Look right here. It's really lean, right? 12 and 45. 12 and 45. We hit that, but we didn't get this one. And you can kind of go back and forth, okay? 12 and 40. 12 and 40. I'm seeing 12 and 40, right here, 18.7. You know, now you can use some rough tuning based on the average values. So that needs some weight. This one needs some weight. These need a little less. You know, these are 15.4. That's fine up there. This is actually good. 15.4, 15.4. You know, don't mess with that. Leave it up there because it's in 35 kPa. We're good. 15.8 at 45 and 4. 15.8. You know, maybe not so good. Looking at this and tuning your VE table off of this chart, it's not a good idea for fine tuning. It's not a good idea for the end of tuning. At the end of tuning, you're going to use this exact method of looking at where you were at that time, read the air fuel, make your change based on this. But because we don't have really good, there's not a whole bunch of good data here. Most of this is cold engine, and once the engine warms up, you didn't really drive it much, so we don't have a whole lot. This is mostly like warming up, so this cannot really be trusted. Cannot be trusted much. Okay, you can't really do a whole bunch of tuning with this. But when the engine was warmed up, we did see that it needed fuel in some of these areas. So this is like a good jump start, right? You're giving it a little bit of fuel. And then once you've done the changes that you know for sure it needs, and like made some small changes in areas where you think it needs, like maybe it needs a little fuel there, then go back to your original map and look at the changes you made and smooth them so that they make sense. So for example here, 78 and then 76. That doesn't make sense, right? So obviously this number needs to increase to be higher than 78.6, something like that. And this one's really close to 79, so it probably needs a little bit too. And look, now this one's too low. So you get in this sort of pattern of trying to rationalize your VE changes by just cleaning them up and smoothing them out. Once you've done your spot points, once you've spot tuned it, spot, and then clean it up, okay? See 75.8, 75.3, that doesn't make sense. There you go, now it makes more sense. 76 to 78, that does make sense. That's a nice, 73.9, 74, this could be like 75. If you want, you can do interpolation. You can just grab this value here, grab a value down there, and press the interpolate, right? That'll kind of automatically blend quickly. So here, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, that makes sense. We don't really need to do anything. But I know this thing kind of runs lean when you hit the gas, so let's not be super economical with fuel just yet. Here, see 76, 78, 78? That doesn't make sense. So go like this, and then press the interpolate button, and it'll automatically give you numbers that blend. 75, 77, 77. These two numbers, they don't make sense. 77.8, 77.2. So you see this valley here? This is actually probably, see how it goes down, 76, 75, 78? Your engine may exhibit this. You may find that you're slightly lean here and then slightly rich here because of this number being higher than this number. So sometimes there are valleys. Some of these engines have these like little valleys. Let's look at this. Click the chart. You see this valley in between here and here, and it kind of has like goes down and then up. That could very well be, perfectly acceptable. You're not going to know until you collect some really good data in that area. So if you see this trend and it's like built into the VE map already before you did anything, kind of follow it, okay? Right here where we get a drop, 76, 75, 76, 78. Yeah, drop this out and then take a look at what the compare feature says, okay? I'm going to drop it down, then I'm going to go Control 4. And you see how I'm way less fuel than it had originally? So I don't know that the valley may not extend all the way down. This is more like of an advanced, for now let's just leave some fuel in it, just maybe not as much fuel as the other cells. And then, okay, keep going. 82.8, maybe just interpolate these. There, it makes more sense. 82.7, interpolate. 79.2, interpolate. See? I'm kind of making it easy on myself. Then go back and check. Any big giant changes like that, see if you can rationalize, reducing them down to something. Does this look like it makes sense? No, it doesn't, because this number, maybe reduce this one a little bit. Bring this one back up, okay? It seems like the change is too big, Like I don't like big changes like this, but on the other hand, you've been, you know, making sense out of the VE table, and it is running a little bit too lean. So try it, trial and error. Try this new, you know, save what you got, file, save, whatever, upload it, and then, you know, do the same exact thing. Drive the car, try to drive the car a little bit, add the force motor current channel so you can see what the transmission pressure is. Let me look real quick at your transmission. So good, the adaptation is disabled, max pressure 90, good. This is like a factory force motor current table, which is fine. Your shift pressures, upshift, normal, like this is you know, it looks to me like it's pretty stock. That's fine. Yeah, this looks normal. Yeah, like the crazy values. The main thing is when it goes to shift, it should not feel like it's slipping, and it shouldn't. I mean, I'm just worried because if you're gonna drive the car, I haven't gone over any transmission tuning stuff, so, and you probably don't have a pressure gauge. You probably don't have a pressure gauge on it. So just be aware if you feel even the slightest weirdness in the shifting or in the pressure and the slipping, you know, if it feels like it slips at all to you, then, you know, you need to be very careful. You do not want to slip that transmission. Okay, you can increase the global pressure using the force motor current table. It isn't a traditional or even accepted means of changing transmission pressure. Like normally we don't want to mess with this table too much. But if for some reason you felt like it was shifting really weak, you would find the force motor current. You know, you need to add that channel. You would find out what it says. Like if actual force motor current said point 0.8 millivolts, 0.8 milliamps. Sorry, it said like 0.8 MA. Okay, 800 milliamps. You would look over here where the program to be 0.8 milliamps. That's like over here. See these 800s? That's 800 milliamps. See, it's in MA. You would find those and you would decrease them. If you decrease them, the transmission will shift harder. It will have more pressure. The EPC solenoid depends on these values. So these already look kind of low. I mean, looks like somebody may have already done that. These are almost like my values, but I have a 480. It's a different transmission, different world. Okay, so you've seen, you know, you can adjust the VE table here. You can make global changes to the air-fuel ratio under fuel, open loop, open EQ. Like if you the lazy way, you can just increase these numbers. It'll increase the richness for all of that area by adjusting the commanded EQ ratio. See, air-fuel ratio commanded. Make sure you are in gasoline, air-fuel ratio units, gasoline. That's like a quick lazy way. Another quick lazy way would be under the fuel injection, the fuel size, okay, flow rate versus kPa. For higher vacuum, why is your, oh, because you don't have a reference. For higher vacuum, like notice it goes lean when you're at 50 kPa or whatever, you can decrease the size of the injector here. Like that. Like no, that doesn't make sense. But if you do this, the engine will richen up over here. This is like another lazy, it's not considered a traditional or accepted method of tuning the engine, but in a pinch, like if you're trying to drive a car and you want to just richen it up real quick everywhere, you could do this because the little tiny change you make here is negligible. It's not going to have a big impact on any of the tables or any of the transmission stuff or whatever. Tiny changes like that are fine, but you're better off doing it in the open loop, in the open EQ, okay? If you want to make global changes, just add weight here. It's just if you add weight here, it makes it harder to tune the VE table because now you don't know whether the richness is coming from here or if it's coming from the VE. All right. So targets for air fuel, up here, you'll generally want to be lean because this is like your cruise and idle. From 50 to about 65, you'll probably trying to be drive the car, trying to like drive it, increase speed. Don't be like above 14.6. Try to be between like 13.8 and 14.2, for example. The lower you go, the more rich you get. So like this one could be 14.2, that's fine. This one could be like 14.0. This one could be like 13.8. Okay, you see, getting richer, right? 13.5, 13.2. Right here you can get into the 13.1, 13.0. And then as you approach wide open throttle, start getting in the 12s. Okay, 85 kPa, 12.8 or 12.7. 12.6, 12.5, 12.4, 12.3, 12.2, 12.1. Shoot towards 12.0 as you get down here at the bottom. Shoot for roughly 12.0. Okay, for now 12.0 is fine. It's a little rich, but it's extremely safe, and so that'll be fine for now. And the spark tuning, okay, let's see, you're gonna look at the, spark tuning, don't mess with it too much right now, but I see some craziness with the spark, and I notice you added a whole bunch of helpful, these are very helpful, but I feel like there's still one missing, because you're getting a base advance of, in some spots you're getting a base advance. Let's see here. Base advance, timing advance. See, like there's some timing missing, so there must be another one of these that's in there somewhere that isn't being picked up. Ah, what could it be? There has to be something, because you have to figure out where the timing changes is coming from. Or see the base is 18 and it's jumping all over here. That's just the idle advance. Your idle advance is crazy. See what it does once you fix that idle table. Anyway, I'm gonna upload